Hello and welcome to Morning Blend. It's great to have you back. I'm Rohan, Siddhanti, your host, and this is my co-host.
I'm Dubey, and I'm excited to be back for this summer.
Today we have meditation camps, immigration laws, and controversial changing of history.
Now, Rohan, I knew we promised we would talk about this later in the show, but I just can't wait. She's too gorgeous. Her name is Rima Faki, and she is the new Miss USA. She's from Detroit, Michigan. She's a Lebanese American, and
what was the issue here?
The issue is she won, which is awesome, and she's so popular right now. She's the most Googled item in the world right now, and she's receiving a lot of criticism for her sort of racy outfits.
I remember seeing this. What exactly happened?
I think she was pole dancing for a promotional show a couple years ago, but she doesn't necessarily regret it. I don't know. Do you condone or condemn it?
All right, I'm kind of in between the condoning and condemning stage right now. What I'm kind of thinking is there's tons of scandals that happen all the time in these kind of competitions. Miss USA is famous for them. This is just another little blip on the Miss USA whole pageantry, and no one's really going to remember this in the long run. Plus, she's absolutely mind-blowingly good-looking, so once you look at her, you kind of forget everything else.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. She's gorgeous. But if you take this sort of in the larger context of Muslim women throughout the country, throughout the world, there's this sort of watershed period where they're being forced to redefine their image, which is sort of stripping them of their own identities. But with that aside, she did a great job with her individual accomplishment of, winning the Miss USA thing. That's a pretty big deal.
It is definitely a big deal, and you made a good point. It is a watershed moment for Muslim women across the world, but essentially what you want to remember is what she's done will be remembered as her accomplishment and not necessarily what happened along the way. So let's say Bobby Jindal for Indians. Bobby Jindal is looked at as the face of Indian Americans in this country. He really is one of the people that's the face, along with Sanjay Gupta. People aren't remembering, all these criticisms about Bobby Jindal when they think about him. When you think about the name, the first thing that comes to mind is Indian American face. Barack Obama is the face of America, but also a triumph for African Americans across the country. That's what they're going to remember. They're not going to remember that, in his memoirs he admitted that he smoked marijuana or something like that,
Yeah.
So in the big picture, it's also a great accomplishment. Getting on to something a little more low-key, there's a trend emerging in India called Vipassana meditation camps. Now, they've been around for a while, and what they are is it's a Buddhist tradition of meditation where it's basically isolation from the world. There's a strict regimen of eating, drinking, sleeping, etc. Usually it's dominated by middle-aged and seniors who go to these camps in India and all around the world. However, increasingly in the last decade or so, teens and the under 30 crowd has skyrocketed. It's almost like 10% of them are now under 30 that are going to these camps, especially in India. What do you think about this emerging trend?
I think it is so cool, and I think it is extremely necessary. In India, of all the places in the world, these kids are getting so stressed out with school, school, school. That's all I hear about from my cousins. When I see them in India, all they do is talk about school. I think it's awesome that these kids are taking 10 days out of their lives to reflect, meditate, and do this intensely, and then to sort of take that back and, bring it back to their communities, bring it back into their daily grind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But would you say that, you leave for 10 days, I know when I've been to India before with my parents, we went to this, remote ashram somewhere. I was 15. I had to sit there for hours pretending to meditate, and actually my mind was wandering all over the place. And I was fidgeting, and it just didn't really help me at all. I went back to the rat race, and, that was it. I didn't feel like 10 days really made a difference for me.
Well, those situations are unique for, each person. There are different experiences, different people going through them. I've been really lucky. I have the chance to go camping every time before I go to school. I think it's an amazing experience. I would equate it...
Is that organized by your school?
Yeah, it's called PennQuest. It's
okay.
A 3-day pre-orientation program, and it's fantastic. We get to bond with the kids. We get to be out in nature. We're away from email, cell phones, all those other forms of communications, Facebook, which you spend so much time on.
Yeah.
It's just really nice to get away from it all.
So these kinds of things can help, I guess, if they're put in the right context. And maybe for those kids, being at the ashram and meditating is the right way to go.
Definitely, yeah, I agree with that.
You were touching on Facebook, and actually I wanted to bring up something about Facebook that's been emerging trend in the United States and also kind of has to do with the meditation.
Right. You're talking about Diaspora,
Diaspora,
right? That's the new social networking site that's emerged, and it's a startup with 4 NYU students. It's just getting on its feet, and they're priming privacy. They're just saying that that's what it's going to be about. You can control your privacy, control what information you're sharing with their friends. Something that seems to be spiraling out of control with the Facebook right now, right?
Right, privacy settings.
You think that